Where there's thunder, there's lightning. John Nada. Kind of dispensing with the normal intro for this video. I just kind of want this to be kind of like a fireside chat, if you will. There's no particular topic today. I just, man, I'll tell you, it is hard to change, brothers. It is hard to change. It is hard to take these dreams and things that you have and make them a reality. And I just feel like, although I've made some progress in some of my goals, you know, I sit here and you know, about 6 months ago, I wanted to lose some weight. I wanted to just get in really good shape, and I just turned 32 a couple days ago, and you know, I did okay with it for a while. I was able to kind of keep on a workout routine, but I mean, my motivation. And again, I've always talked about on this program how I feel like if there's nothing else I can be, it's authentic. I feel like that's the most important thing. Just be honest with the people that do listen to this. And I feel like even out of it, I haven't really spoken with any of these people in a particularly. You know, there's a lot of people that comment a lot. I know Simon is one of them, and I really appreciate. He just seems like a really genuine guy. Mountain MGTOW, another guy that comments fairly regularly. And I know I'm missing Fall Kid or Kid Fall. There's several other people, and if I forgot you, I apologize. It's hard to keep up with a lot of the people that do comment and listen regularly, but a lot of this is for you guys. It is hard to be motivated sometimes. I think a lot of it's just the schedules that I work, you know, in these 3-month rotations. You know, I went from working midnights to working the 3 to 11 shift. I feel like I would be more productive if I had maybe more of a normal work day, but anybody that's ever dealt with, I mean, just things just not going your way. And life is a struggle. It is. And, you know, make no mistake that, you know, it's very easy to sit there and think of goals and think of different things that you'd like to accomplish, but there is quite a bit of work and preparation and just stick-to-itiveness that goes into making these things possible, man. And it just seems like it's just been very difficult to make any headway with things. And I have accomplished a lot of goals, a lot of big goals over the last year or so. But there's just a lot, like I said, mentioned the weight loss thing. I think I've actually put weight on. A lot of different things that have been going on in life that, you know, I would have hoped by now, for the most part, have been dealt with and gotten over and everything else. But I did want to bring this up just because if you were ever in question of AWOL, this is just, let me give you the rundown of the last couple girls that I've dated / talked to over the past months or year or so. The latest one, and I don't know if I mentioned it on the program, without going into too much detail about them, that relationship, it had kind of run its course, and I was kind of just ready to get out of that. It was pretty much for me a friends with benefits situation, because just this person's past and their history just didn't, they could never be equated as really anything more serious than that. But what ended up happening there was they just kind of just one night just stormed out of the apartment, and because they had a dream that I was cheating on them, and they happened to wake up, and I was like sending a business email back at like 2 in the morning, because again, my hours were weird. Well, bullet dodge there, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it could have certainly turned out a lot worse. But in the meantime, I had kind of noticed, and this was back at the time when I had Facebook, that they were kind of, they acted like they wanted to get back together and work things out. I really, to be quite honest with you, was really just glad to be rid of her. And but I had noticed in the meantime they were, commenting and posting on this one particular guy's page, which I didn't really care. I mean, at that point, I already knew what was going on, and who knows if it had just started or if it had been going on. But that's just to go to show that she swung from one branch and grabbed onto the next one she had ready and available. Went and met this girl, this other girl a while back, and she couldn't understand why I didn't seem all that interested and why I wasn't nervous about meeting her. And it was for the simple fact that I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. But I just, to convince myself, it would be good just to spend time with somebody, due to the alienation and everything else that I've spoken about before on the program. It would just be nice just to go somewhere on a day off and spend time with somebody, whether you intend to date them or not. And they were okay looking. I wasn't particularly attracted to them in general. It wasn't that they were ugly or anything. It was just, I just didn't have that attraction, But it was kind of funny because this would have been a long distance kind of deal, and I had already gathered from the start. Most women are not going to do a long distance relationship unless there's certain things in play, because the whole benefit to them is to have somebody to start drama with, and to have somebody flood them with attention and everything. So she said she was okay with the idea of that, and I didn't really think a whole lot of it because, like I said, I really didn't expect it to go anywhere, and it didn't, and I wasn't particularly upset about it. But it's just a reminder of, you're basically alone in the world. You're basically this whole idea that you're going to meet somebody that's going to be on your team and stand with you through thick and thin. I mean, that's all just nonsense, really. One of the exes from way back when, she had a photo of herself up on Facebook, and this was after she had started dating this other guy. And I always thought it was kind of weird. And again, this was back when I had Facebook. I always thought it was kind of weird that on the guy's page, it was always a picture of him and her, but on her page, it was always like a picture of her with her dogs, or a picture of her with friends, or just a picture of her in general. And one of the pictures, this just gives you insight into the majority of the way most women think. The picture said the only thing, it was her and her two dogs, and it said something to the effect of the only thing that I love more than travel, insinuating that the only thing I love more than travel is these two dogs that I have. And it was just kind of like, no mention of the guy, no mention of you could totally tell that he was not a priority in her life. He's just kind of there as a placeholder for her emotions and things. And she was also the same one that put something along the lines of, women, your career, your money, and your success will never wake up one day and decide to leave you. And it's like, that sounds familiar, except it's, generally the guy that gets left. It's generally the guy that's high and dry. And not only does the woman leave, but so does half of his assets. So you may be kind of wondering what the purpose of this podcast is, because there's no particular subject here. It's just, I think it just needs to be said. I'm tired of the rah rah sis boom bah. Let's just be honest. Life is tough, man. Life is it's a hard world out there, man. It really is. And lack of motivation could be from just the human experience itself. I wish, I have everything in place. I've got the time, I feel like, but the motivation's just not there, because it's just like, at the end of the day, you just kind of feel like, what's the point? I feel like, I know there are people out there that understand what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. Now, I'm not saying that it's all doom and gloom and hopeless. I mean, I think that, somebody had commented on the program a while back that you have to do a paradigm shift in what is important and what is going to make you happy. And that's the thing. I mean, even when I've been in relationships with people, they were never what they were sold to me to be, and that's kind of what this whole MGTOW thing is all about, is that we were kind of sold one story, we were kind of sold one bill of goods, but rather we got another, and so we're, in the words of Tyler Durden from Fight Club, we're very pissed, because we were all sold that this was going to happen and that was going to happen. So, and I've said it many times on this program, I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I do well to figure my own life out, let alone figure life out for, the 6.5 billion or more people on the planet. Just keep moving forward, guys. That's all I can say. You're doing the right thing by going your own way. You're doing the only thing you can do, because at the end of the day, it's too risky to try to trust somebody and, only to see that play out the way that it does so oftentimes. I mean, you're a fool if you think that after 5 or 6 times of the same result that anything's going to be different. You're a fool if you think that there's a narwhal or a unicorn. There may be one, but the statistical likelihood of it is so infinitesimal that you're going to be spending your entire life trying to find that, and in the end, more than likely not finding it at all. I wish that I'd like to entertain the idea of doing some chats with some people via Skype or whatever, and recording those. But that's really all I can say is, it's perfectly normal. It's perfectly natural in life to have these down times. And we've talked about it before on the program. It's something that's referred to in theology as the dark night of the soul, where people are just really going through one thing or the other. But I think that it would just be weird if we lived in a perfect world, there would just be something that would seem off about that. But just know that, if you ever feel that alienation out there, if you ever feel that disillusionment with things, that you're not the only one that feels that way. You're not the only one that ever deals with that. And matter of fact, there's a lot of people that do deal with it. I'm not really sure what kind of consolation prize that may be to some people, but I just wanted to say that because I know that there are people out there that they really are, behind the scenes, beyond the fame, they are dealing with things, and I think that's something in MGTOW we don't talk enough about. I think it's good that we talk about self-improvement. I think it's good that we talk about the female nature and all that. But at the end of the day, where does this leave us as far as trying to help one another out? Where does this leave us as far as, where do we go from here? You know, I'm looking forward to a time where I no longer create content for this channel because I'm too busy going out there enjoying my life and living my life, having accepted the truth of things and just dealing with it. I do want to plug a channel, MGTOW Money. I think is something I've been listening to here lately, and he kind of does go beyond the standard issue MGTOW content to kind of talk about some things that could help guys do a little bit more with their life financially and to try to become, you know, as independent as they can be. So definitely check out his channel. Other than that, like I said, we just have to keep pressing forward and, you know, trying to help each other out as best we can. This has been the Days of Thunder. This has been John Nada. And remember, you're free to do as you're told.